Ant, Alibaba, and Jack Ma, and the entire group has really become a buzzword for global investors as they look at China from the outside. And it's certainly a litmus test as global investors seek to regain confidence in the market that we are not in some kind of so-called war with the technology giants, and that investor capital is safe. So many investors put money into the kind of anchor or pre-IPO rounds of the Ant Financial IPO. And so it really did have global ripple effects beyond what I think the Chinese ever anticipated when it was scuttled. I do believe we will see an Ant IPO likely this year. It will be a very different beast than it was when it was contemplating an IPO before. In this instance, I do believe, just as we've seen with Alibaba at the group level, they will start to carve off different businesses as they seek to assuage regulator fears around being, antitrust fears around being too much of a monopolistic behemoth. And so I think it'll be a different group than you saw before, but certainly still one that holds a near duopoly in the Chinese financial technology space. And so still a very valuable entity and one that I think regulators will want to get public in order to, again, show those types of positive signs in the market, just as we saw with Jack Ma returning or some of these potential future IPOs for other Alibaba Group entities.
I understand that, but my question was more about what you're hearing when the issue will hit the markets.
We're not being given any kind of concrete timeline, but my expectation is that it could well be within the next year. Again, it's critical for regulators to buoy the market and to make them, global investors feel confident here. And this is such an important one that I think they're going to emphasize it going out the gate. So we are hearing it will likely happen, and I expect it will happen within the next year.
So to that effect, should we use Fresh Hippo as a little bit of a litmus test as to that global demand for Alibaba IPOs? Because that should be, in effect, a clear representation of just how much global investors do want to get back into Baba and its offshoots, obviously.
It's a great question. Fresh Hippo is a challenging one only in the instance that it's a largely domestic business. Global investors won't know it or won't have used it, and it's obviously in a more challenging, lower margin space, that being kind of grocery and food. I think that the bigger and more important Alibaba IPOs will be those of Cainiao, their logistics arm in the future, Ali Cloud, some of these other businesses that have Chinese and global precedence, as Cainiao had JD Logistics or ZT or some of the other or ZTO or some of the other Chinese logistics businesses. So I would look more towards them. But certainly Fresh Hippo will be is an important part of the Ali Group, albeit a smaller one today.